Hi, my name's J.K. Rowling, and in this book, I'm going to take 3 times as long to make anything happen at all. Happy Tuesday, Potterheads! Today we are talking about Chapter 4 of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and it's basically just going to be one big old celebration of Arthur Weasley. But before we jump into it, go ahead and read that chapter recap in the description below if you want to. And if you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. You can click the subscribe button below and ring the notification bell so you always know when I upload. And share the video with all your friends. Okay, before we get into it with Mr. Weasley, I do want to touch on something that might be a bit more sensitive. Because apparently that's what we do best here. It's what I've heard the most in the past couple of weeks. Is what Fred and George do to Dudley in this chapter harmless fun, or is it something more serious? If you didn't read the recap, first of all, shame on you. I'm just kidding. But second, right before the twins get back in the fireplace at the Dursleys, they accidentally drop some toffees on the floor. Accidentally, because they definitely know that Dudley's been on a diet. They've certainly heard everything that Harry has told Ron, and they know he won't be able to resist one. So like they expect, while everyone else is distracted, Dudley picks up one of the dropped toffees and eats it. And like, honestly, I get it, man. When you're deprived of the thing that you're craving, it's rough out there. But then, twist, the toffees are actually a prank product that make Dudley's tongue start swelling up super fast. Thankfully, Dudley ate the toffee while Mr. Weasley was still there, so there was a skilled wizard on hand to be able to control the situation. Anywho, Dudley's tongue is growing super fast, and according to the text, nearly suffocates him. So that's the thing. What would have happened to Dudley if there had been no one there to stop his tongue with magic? We know from the next chapter that Dudley's tongue grows to almost 4 feet before Mr. Weasley is able to stop it. Would it have kept growing, and for how long? How much time would have passed before it stopped? And would his tongue have kept growing and become big enough that he legitimately would not have been able to breathe and would have suffocated? Maybe it's the parent in me, but what used to seem like a funny prank against the mean kid now actually seems kind of malicious. Sure, maybe if they had targeted Vernon or Petunia, I'd feel differently. Maybe if it was an adult villain, then maybe there'd be an element of them deserving it. But Dudley is a child here. A child who they may have gotten close to murdering. And I think we're meant to view the Dursleys as being a little bit ridiculous with their views of things in this chapter, but in this moment, I kind of get it. Like, sure, it's extremely problematic how Vernon talks about wizards in this chapter. He's using extremely prejudicially charged language. But if I put myself in his or Petunia's shoes in this moment, and that's my kid whose tongue is growing so out of control and possibly murdering him, yeah, I'm gonna flip the fuck out on the f***ing magician standing in my living room. Magic legit almost killed his son here. Just be careful, Potterheads. Not every prank is just a prank, bro. And I gotta say one more thing about this, and I'm sorry to keep harping on it, but it comes up a lot. Is this J.K. Rowling making fun of the fat kid again? Like, she wrote a scene where Dudley's completely normal desire for a piece of candy nearly ends his life. It's like she's an evil dentist trying to convince kids everywhere to stop eating candy. Like, if you still don't see the food shaming and the fat shaming, I don't think there's anything I can do to convince you at this point. Oh, okay, let's move on to something more fun this time. For the first time this season, it's time for parenting with
Harry Potter.
Isn't she so grown up now? Oh, I can't take it. Okay, let's just spend a few minutes here together just throwing a lot of love at good old Arthur Weasley. Arthur Weasley is an incredible father. This whole time, this whole chapter, during this whole ordeal, he stays calm and level-headed. Oh, something's blocking the way through the fireplace and we can't get out? That's fine. Let's just calm down and see if Harry can hear us. What's that? Only solution is to bust our way out? Well, gotta do what we gotta do even though it's not the best. Arthur Weasley's a problem solver. And yeah, maybe it's not the most elegant solution in the world, but he gets his kids out of being stuck in a gym. Then he's the perfect example of polite manners. Even though he just blew up the Dursleys' fireplace, he still is extremely polite. He still takes an interest in their life and their home. He still tries to make polite conversation even though he knows they hate him. And the only time Arthur starts to lose his temper a little bit is when other adults are behaving badly. The only time he loses his cool is when the Dursleys won't give Harry a proper goodbye. And I love that so much for 2 reasons. One, it's freaking adorable that Arthur Weasley, beautifully messy life and all, cares so much about proper manners when it comes to hello and goodbye. And 2, Arthur is showing Harry so much love in a small way by doing this. He's showing Harry that he values Harry as a person and thinks that Harry deserves that much respect from everyone. He's saying to Harry, you matter. And that's so important for Harry in number 4 Privet Drive, the place where he's shown the most that he doesn't matter to them. Arthur is just an amazing, amazing, amazing father. We talk a lot about Hagrid and Dumbledore as father figures to Harry because they're around him more in the books. And I think Arthur can suffer a little bit too from being underneath Molly's shadow when it comes to being a parental influence. But the man is just a genuinely good parent. And that's all for Parenting with...
Again?
Harry Potter.
Thank you.
You guys, I have to admit, it does feel good to be back committed to the book club again. I struggle almost every time with certain aspects of each episode. Making the time to sit down and read and write sometimes can be hard. But usually when I'm writing, once I start writing, it does feel good. And I mean, there are aspects of filming that I dislike, mainly A, that I have to do it usually so late at night, and B, that I'm doing it completely by myself, setting up and tearing down. But the performance in front of the camera usually always feels good, and I don't mind editing either. It's a pain, but it's not always bad. I just wanted to be super open with you all about what makes this hard to return to sometimes each week. You know, when I'm feeling down and questioning the future of the book club, it can be hard to move past those frustrations on a weekly basis. But we're here, we're committed, we're dedicated. We are not promising that we won't go through this turmoil again. But hey, it's probably good to keep us reevaluating, right? Sure. But that's gonna do it for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and you want to follow along, you can subscribe and ring the notification bell so you always know when I upload. And please make sure you share the videos with your friends. That's the best way to grow the channel, is by you guys telling people. And if you really love what I'm doing and you want to support me in another way, there are ways that you can support me via my Patreon and my merchandise in the description below. If you missed last week's episode, you can click right here, and if you want to watch something that YouTube thinks you will like, you can click right there. Your assignment for next week is read chapter 5. That's Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, so make sure you read that by next Tuesday, and until then, happy reading, Knox!